One of our favorite segments is the Wall of Shame, where we look at kind of ridiculous reviews that people have given dealerships that were not warranted and kind of make fun back at the customers, right? Because dealerships don't get to review customers, but often the negative reviews from the customers are totally warranted. And so we picked out a few dealerships that had pretty abysmal overall ratings averages, right? So, like when I look at hotels, right, I will not stay in a hotel that's below about like a 4.2.
Yeah, and for restaurants, you told me the like 4.5 hack. That's like if a restaurant is below 4.5, iffy. It's not. Right. It's not that it's bad.
3.5 on Yelp because Yelp is just really unkind typically. But and you can't really leave fake reviews on Yelp, right? Google, there's tons and tons of manipulation to the reviews, and there's a lot of bot positive reviews for any number of places. But yeah, the difference between like 4.2 and 3.8 in hotels is the 1 stars. And the 1 stars in a 4.2 are like, well, the person was rude to me at the front desk. And, they didn't have an extra cot. And a 3.9, the 1 stars are like, yeah, our whole family got bed bugs and bacterial meningitis. Like that 0.3 is massive, right? So averages matter. So we picked out a few dealerships that have, we didn't look at the Google averages, although typically they were pretty low, although some of them appeared to have manipulated them. We went to Yelp and/or cars.com and looked at their averages. And they weren't even close to 4. Not even in the ballpark. They would have loved to be at 4. All 3 of them together might have been like 5 stars, like total.
Like totaled up.
Yes, nice. Yes. One of them, cars.com review average is 1.4 out of 5.
How many?
And it looks like 53 reviews.
That's a lot.
And it looks like half of the 5 stars. It appears, I am alleging, it is my opinion, that most of the 5 stars are not legitimate. They had all the markers of kind of super wordy and non-specific, and I'm just like,
Well, I've got, so in one of, I don't want to get necessarily into the reviews just yet, but to that point, from one of the places I looked at on their Google reviews, I have, I looked at, here's a terrible review. 1 star, absolutely awful. The next one, 5 stars. Management was very good and respectful. Customer service was excellent. I went there with a friend to purchase a car and saw some really great vehicles. Like, what is that? A picture of a couple Rolls Royces on here. It's like, what is?
I think a lot of people for $10 will go look at a fancy car dealership and write them a review, right? Because all these are high-end car dealers. So the first one I stumbled across was Atlanta Fine Cars in Georgia. And I came across them because I was looking at comps for Aston Martin DB9s. And they have an 06 DB9 Volante with 177,000 miles.
What?
Right?
That's incredible.
I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that's pretty cool just to have one with that kind of miles. So then I saw their 1.4 and I was just like, okay.
Maybe. Well, that's the place that I looked at the closest. Let me tell you, there's probably some issues with that vehicle. If any of these reviews are to be believed, that was probably totaled at one point.
Yep. All right, let's get right into them. Car dealers sold my money. The goons had to show up.
What?
The goons had to by goons. That's who wrote the reviews, goons. The goons had to show up to get my money back. They sold me a Porsche 996. I gave them $5,000 down payment of Friday. They said the car would be ready on Tuesday. I returned on Tuesday to pay the balance, and the car was gone, and the salesman gave me a stupid and directed me to the owner. This guy starts running all over the lot, avoiding me for an hour. The sales guy comes over he sold the car the next day to someone else for $7,000 more. I was over it at this point. I just demanded my money back. The owner said, I think it means I don't. I don't have $5,000 at the dealership. I have to go to the bank to get it. I waited an hour and he went MIA. To get my $5,000, it required some outside persuasion from some motivation from some neighborhood associates. Goons LLC.
Neighborhood associates.
Once they had a conversation with the owner, he was eager to return my money. The lesion here is don't do business with these guy, and if you do, you gave to hire Goons LLC to get justice.
That's amazing. Goons LLC.
Oh my goodness! I wonder if they, if you have to get a W-9 from them, what their corporate structure is.
There was one that, now this one I want to give, so they say, drove 4 hours to get down there, purchased a Range Rover Sport. They told me it was a reliable car and everything was fine with it.
It's a Range Rover. That's your first mistake.
Drove it for 30 minutes and the check engine light came on and my front light went out. They have good service but terrible cars. My advice is to take the car to a mechanic before you purchase it.
My advice is don't buy a Range Rover.
Check engine light in 30 minutes. I feel like that's pretty legit. It wasn't in 15.
Well, it probably means it had been reset, and that was just the time it took for it to cycle back through and then come on again. All right, here's a good one. Same company. Lied is the title of the review. This company is not a good company to work with. I missed a couple payment. Well,
that's unfortunate.
It's not a good start. Never had that problem with car dealerships. And instead of just repo, they lied and told people in my apartment building that I stole the car and wrote bad checks for the down payment.
Why were they scoping out people in the apartment complex? Did they hire Goons LLC? They're like, man, these guys are really effective. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't think Goons LLC discriminates on the client.
The money's still green.
In fact, I gave them $6,000 in cash. Horrible business. True to lie to the police about it. Thank God the police officers checked their database and seen that it wasn't stolen, so they let me go free.
Let me go.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. Whew. I do love bought an M3 here in March for $14,000 cash. Turned out to be a lemon, and I sold it for just $4,500. Not even 6 months later. Avoid this place if you need a car that runs. Which, like, why else are you buying a car?
All right, let's give them some credit. Let's look at a 5-star review. Highly professional staff, top-of-the-line exotic automobiles, large selection of automobiles to choose from. No lines. Is there lines at a car dealership? No waiting customer service. Good store operational hours.
Thank goodness they've got hours. Another 5-star.
Do you think that's a real review? Is it your opinion?
No. Not even a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no lines. Thank God I didn't have to wait in a queue. Like, what are you talking about? Another positive one, though, if we want to keep this going. S. Levere, in parentheses, son of God, wrote this review.
Oh, yes, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Ollie and the whole staff are the best. I didn't all of the down payment, and I still drove off the lot with my BMW 645 Ci. I wanted a very costly tune-up and didn't have all the money, and he still worked with me. They are the best. I recommend everyone go see them. Tell them I sent you. That was the first period. And I guarantee 100 emoji that they will take care of you. Heart emoji, smiling emoji, heart emoji.
Oh, that wasn't the one I was thinking of.
This was amazing.
This is a great one. This is a 5-star that I think the guy had a spiritual experience and changed it.
Oh.
Sorry, it was a 1-star. It is now a 5-star. You'll see why. Title of the review is Want God Do It! Multiple exclamation points.
Nice.
Anthony Brown, I'm a man of God, and it doesn't matter what happened in your life. Just remember this. The Bible said, rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee. Leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way first. Be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. This is real. Yes? If
you could hear my thoughts right now, it's just the dial-up sound, like trying to process what the heck is going on over here.
This is not a bot review. I gave the owner my apology for a bad post because I can always say yes and no to any deal. It's true. But I said yes, so I'm at fault too. So stop posting bad reviews when you didn't do your homework. We are friends now, and I won't carry anger in my heart for no man. I want to go to heaven. What about you? Thanks, Ollie. I got another vehicle, and I'm all right.
Glad you're okay there, bud. I will admit,
I have different convictions.
some of these reviews some of the people that left these reviews should have watched a couple of our videos about how to buy a car.
They should have probably watched a couple of Dave Ramsey's videos about how to pay cash. Buy here, pay here, exotic car lot, luxury car lot is not a great start.
No.
If you are buying a Range Rover with no credit check, it probably means that they didn't do no mechanical check either.
Yeah. It's just...
Yes. Okay. Another one. Let's look at a few from Caro Motorcars. The reason I say this is because I had a customer fly down to look at a Gallardo Spider that they had there that was advertised as a 6-speed gated manual. Now, there's no description. They didn't say outright it was a factory 6-speed manual, but it seemed that they weren't saying that it wasn't a factory manual. And of course, a lot of people do conversions. They start with the E-gear, the F1 gearbox, the sequential manual with the paddle shifts, which functions as an automatic. But anyway, the conversions to an actual manual are not as valuable as the factory manuals, but not always can you tell. So I messaged them to ask if it was a factory manual gearbox, and they said yes. And so I pushed them on it, and they're like, well, call me. I'm like, heck no, I want this in writing. So I kept messaging them. We started texting, and they kept coming back with it's a factory manual. So I took a screenshot, which I had gotten. This is a plug for Epic VIN. If you are not using Epic VIN to do homework or due diligence on a vehicle, you are not doing due diligence. It is way cheaper than Carfax, and it is awesome because you can look up historical listings, different salvage auction results, whatever. Click the affiliate link in the show notes to sign up for Epic VIN. It's $40 a month for unlimited reports. That's the price of one Carfax report. Anyway,
dang.
Yeah, I don't know how we ever did without it in our business. I've been a subscriber for a long time, long before we had an affiliate link. So wholeheartedly endorse them. Anyway, so I pulled up some photos from prior. The car used to be a rental in Las Vegas, which is never a good start for a Lamborghini. There was a VinWiki post about it being a paperweight because it had a rod thrown through the block, right? So the engine had to be rebuilt at some point, and it was an E-gear. So I sent the salesperson at Caro Motorcars the screenshot of like, hey, here's the interior. You can see the paddle shifters. This car used to be an E-gear. And he's like, no, I don't think that's the same car. So I sent him another screenshot that I had taken from their website where you could see the paddle shifters and the reverse button. And I was like, how about this one? And he's like, I don't know. No, it's a factory manual. I was like, I'll wire you money right now if it's a factory manual. So he sent me wiring instructions and then quickly was like, no. Actually, I found out it is a conversion. Somebody else told me, one of the other salesmen. I'm like, this is like 2 weeks of me anyway. Wow. So seemed like they were trying to pass it off as a factory manual and probably still. But anyway, what do you got for reviews on Caro Motorcars?
Well, I love this 5-star right here that is just unbelievable selection of exotic vehicles and a bunch of posts of cars from inventory. How is that?
They do. I mean, they have like a Bugatti Chiron per sang there. They do have a great selection. But they also have a 2.2 average review on Yelp.
And it's a 3.6 on Google, which, as we have discussed, below the 3.8 line, things get a little
4. It's
dicey.
Below 4, it's dicey. Yeah.
Oh, man. There was one, I have scrolled way past it here, but essentially they bought a McLaren. It's like when you buy a Range Rover and then it gets a check engine light. If you're going to buy a McLaren, sometimes things are just going to happen.
Yes.
They're just finicky. But they bought all this stuff, turns out to be tuned, bad ECU, had to do whole this thing, and the dealership just ghosted them afterwards. Absolutely nothing.
In the dealership's defense, there's a thing you sign that says as is.
That's
right?
true.
Like, when does the car stop being their car and start being the buyer's car? But the question is, was it misrepresented or not? Here's a good one from Caro. Horrible dealership, scammers. I cannot believe the nightmare I've had with Caro Motorcars. They sold me a car with tampered miles without even disclosing it. Well, that's usually what you do if you're messing with the miles, is you don't disclose it. This is absolutely unacceptable and fraudulent. After discovering this shocking issue, I reached out to Jack Weinzire from Channel 10 to investigate the dealership, and I'm now involving my attorney to ensure justice is served.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some crazy allegations right there. I purchased a car through them, and they charged me $10,000 more than the price was suggested on their website.
Yeah.
Double check the documents before you sign.
There's one here, another 5-star. I'm feeling very positive tonight, I guess. I want to send a special thank you to Jordan and the whole Cario team for being such great partners. I've waited 30-plus years to find my dream car, and Cario had a gorgeous 2018 BMW M3. Now, I don't know math very well, Doug. I let computers do it for me. But 2025 minus 2018 is not 30.
Well, 2018 minus 30 is a year that the BMW M3 didn't exist.
So
there's
also,
some better math for you.
Wow, I thought I had shown me up.
I've also heard from Dan, the normal car guy, normal supercar guy, whatever it is. Anyway, nice guy. He kind of exposed Cario a while back. He had bought a car from them or tried to buy a car from them, sent them a deposit, and they sold the car to somebody else and then tried to keep his deposit.
Oh.
But he showed numerous examples of when they had Gallardos that were dressed up as Superleggeras that they were allegedly trying to pass off as real Superleggeras that weren't. They just had like the wing and the graphics and stuff.
I mean, everybody likes to up badge and act like they got more than they got. They're just trying to take a slice of that pie.
It's one thing when you're going for Instagram likes. It's another thing when you're trying to profit off of that.
That's true. Are you telling me clout is not profit, Doug?
You could get a few bucks from Meta, I guess. I don't know.
There's a lot of crazy stuff. The one person left a 1-star review because they purchased a car and then the car got stolen.
That's not the dealership's point. What the heck? Oh, man. Well, here's one. We don't know who this dealership is, but we'll end on this one. This is just a wacko. This is it's for Patriot Auto Sales, who has a 4.8-star review with 2,000 reviews. So we think this one is probably a wall of shame because it makes no sense. It definitely is. It's a Nissan Altima. Here we go.
Let's go.
1 star, Sherry Brown. Notice the review section just got car. I bet they were led into the 5-star system. Ha ha. I'll be back today. 10/9/24, something spooky. Jason, try sign your life away. No longer work there. And this morning, 3 people acted as if they were talking to a 3-year-old. I feel like I'm reading what a 3-year-old wrote. I'm older than all 3 and hung up in my ear emoji. The 4th in sales tried to follow I suit, but I had other plans. I am the radio queen of Virginia. Not only that, I have a voice. I'm also an avtivist, and my mentality is tired of being played with. I have moral standards, respect, integrity, wit, and a responsibility to inform people and this world about people's lies and disrespect to God's people, and I will never... Why does God keep coming into these car deals?
Weird. God's not buying a car.
No. I will never again let no one, as long as I live, endure the pain, lost inhumane things I have in the 48 years I've lived. 48 is in quotes. So
Can you...
maybe she's 60 and it's 48. Thus far would not ever treat someone indifferent for dollars. GJ Dividends at all. Jason asked me to hit 5 stars before I sign my paperwork, in quotes. I told him at the beginning, you moving and talking a little too fast. And guess what? No one can really out-talk me or write me. I feel. They always tell me, shut up, be quiet, and sit down because I was born with discernment. Can't spell it. And also, I'm a medium, so with that, I'll be back because I have to study. I hope everyone enjoys their day and use good judgment. And then post 3 pictures of her Altima. With a license plate, vanity plate here. We should have used this one for the game. Jay saves.
Which Jay are they talking about?
Not Jason. She's really mad at Jason, but probably Jesus. Yeah.
Saves that Ultima. Yeesh.
Oh, man, there's so many more, but we'll stop there in the interest of time. That brings us to the props and flops of the week.
And as always, the props and flops are brought to you by SwitchCars. SwitchCars is the enthusiast dealership where we buy, sell, and consign only cars that we like ourselves. Check out our handpicked inventory at switchcars.com and mention SwitchCast for special pricing. Find more information on the internet at switchcars.com or come visit our showroom in beautiful and extremely snowy Twinsburg, Ohio. Doug, do we have a pick of the week?
We do. 2010 Shelby GT500 convertible, black on black with 32,000 miles and nicely priced bargain performance convertible, $35,000. I had to think about that one.
Nice.
Flop of the week. Speaking of Mustangs, a Mustang tries to run from the cops. I saw this video on the social medias. It was one of those like Insta 360 cams that people put behind their cars as if they think people care about watching them drive. Anyway, the Mustang gets pulled over by the cops, takes off, and spins out within about 200 feet.
Nice.
All caught on camera. Oh. So the cop just like moved up and pulled up with him like backwards this time. The irony was there was in this video all sorts of other performance cars, and you could see in the back window of the Jaguar that was filming this, thanks to their Insta 360 whatever cam, they had an LED thing that was scrolling that said, "Wanna race."
Oh, well, that's very obvious.
Yep. So I think I know what that Mustang was trying to do, but it ended up doing Mustang things. Prop of the week. The Porsche Carrera GT recall is in. The fix is in. If you didn't know, Porsche Carrera GT had a stop drive order. There was a recall as part of the front suspension that it could potentially crack, but according to this article I found, it was only as a result of being exposed to salt, essentially, if it was corroded, which I don't know how many people with Carrera GTs drive them in salty roads. But anyway, if it was inspected and found to be compromised, there was a stop drive order. People couldn't drive them. I was really hoping that the market would tank on them and I could afford one. It didn't. Unfortunately, it just dipped kind of like Carvana stock, and then people bought the dip, and Anyway, so a year and a half later, the fix is in. Porsche's addressing it, and bonus, you get a brand new set of Michelin Pilot Sport N2 tires with this recall, so you can drive your Carrera GT safely on fresh rubber, and you won't have a Paul Walker moment.
Oh, well, Ethan, get me out of this.
Listen, it's a real thing. Old tires on performance cars it's no bueno. It's no bueno.
My guess is that's why they're giving out the tires. Just get the cars in. Take a look at them, especially because dealerships aren't really servicing it this much anymore. You know, the expertise is elsewhere, but they can ensure that people are incentivized to get fresh set of tires.
I think it's an avoid liability thing, a CYA moment. So, well, with that, I guess I'm priced out of Carrera GTs, but I'm at least happy that people are safe and have them back on the road. Thank you for joining us for SwitchCast with Doug Tabbutt and Tyler Sanders, produced by Ethan Huffnagel. SwitchCast is an automotive entertainment and opinion show, and nothing we say should be taken very seriously. We do not give tax, investment, legal, emotional, or professional advice, and the only licenses we hold are driver's licenses. The opinions expressed on this show are exclusively held by the people pontificating at that moment and do not reflect the values of our producers or sponsors. Our theme music is provided by Emily and Ivory. You can stream their full album on Spotify or SoundCloud. If you like this show, you can stream it in its entirety on your favorite audio podcast platform. Check out switchcast.live for more info.